And we're live. Hey guys, how you doing? It's Bob K6UDA, and welcome to the big live show. I think I'm gonna try to do this every Thursday. Might not happen while I'm on the road, but I'm gonna do it as long as I'm here, as long as the studio is put together, or I can make this happen. Let's see. Uh, Man, good to be back. I've been off of YouTube now for 2 weeks, with the exception of helping Jason Ham Radio 2.0 out with his D Star show the other day. What was that? That was Sunday. Anyway, got a lot of stuff to unpack today. I was in the Boise area. We drove everywhere through Boise and looked at just a shit ton of houses. It was a lot of fun. Put an offer in on a place that one didn't exactly work out. So we are still looking. Today is actually our big day. We are in a couple of hours. We've got the photographer coming over here to take pictures of the house here. So I'll be doing that in a while. I did want to say thank you to a few guys here who have provided me some new patches. We've got Mike W5MEF with the Dallas Police Department patch. And as you guys notice, I write all your call signs on the back of your patches. So thank you. Another new little phenomenon here. It's not a new phenomenon. It's an old phenomenon. It's something that kind of happens in the police world, is moving around a lot. And let's see. We've got Don Izzo in the house, who might be in the house. I don't know, Don. If you're in the house tonight, give a shout. But anyway, W1FYG. Don comes from two different departments. The Portland Police in Connecticut, with your call on there, and Middletown, Connecticut Police. So that's something that is, cops move around. You know, we very much have the grass is always greener kind of mentality. So, and then one of Don's buddies, I don't know if this was a work buddy, or he's another cop with him, provided a few more patches from some other departments. I mean, look, guys are moving across the country from Mesa, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, back out to Connecticut, to Hartford, Connecticut Police, and Hebron, Connecticut Police. Don, I want to thank you for those. And finally, Sean here, W9FFF, has provided me with some of his past and present patches here. Let's see, McHenry, Illinois Police, San Francisco Sheriff's Office. Very interesting sheriff's office. This is out here, of course, it's San Francisco. But the only thing that they do is the jail. I don't think that they even have a patrol division. So there's no field ops there. Let's see, Elwood, Indiana PD. And again, well, you can't see it on there, but I do have it written on there. But anyway, Sean, your call sign is emblazoned on all of these patches here. And I've got to find, I actually am going to need a new a new deal, a new big time deal here. Oh, let's see. Let's go Black Creek, Wisconsin. That's pretty cool. With your call, Ocean Beach Police, the village of Ocean Beach in Suffolk County, New York. That is very, very cool. I love that patch. And then Sean, thank you very much for McHenry County Honor Guard, a challenge coin. I wish I had challenge coins to reciprocate and send to you guys, but this one is going in my big stack of my small stack of challenge coins. Let's see what the what do we have here in the way of stuff to talk about here. I'm gonna run back through some of the comments here. I was told there would be pie and assorted other snacks from the ham radio dude. Yeah. Yes, before and after the show, my friend. Just look under your seat. The assorted pies and snacks are under your seat. Let's see. Hoping I'd have a choice of hot and cold brew. Being a retired first responder, this is from Bruce here. Being a retired first responder, the write up in the description hit the stress experience right on the head. It'll be interesting to hear what is said. You know, I'm not an expert in operating under fire. Our little sheriff's office and police departments right here in Placer County, we're not like exactly the hotbed of hot activity, but we do, you know, I mean, I've seen just about every way to die, smelled it, and picked up the bodies. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. Looking through here, I want to make sure I'm not passing any of the super chats up. The super chat window is open. That is a sure way, if you've got something to say, to definitely get my attention there and get it up on the stream. Let's see. Hey, Bob from Michigan, N8YO. Mike, good to see you there. My buddy Roger is in the house, KE4BFG, and yeah, I got a boo-boo there. I guess I could actually call that cat scratch fever because my cat did that to me the other night. Yeah, I woke her up a little suddenly, and she attacked me. Isn't that cool? Let's see. Down to the bottom here. From James Hannibal here. I'm going to add this. Hey, Bob, here's a $5 discount code just for viewers. Any Slink, Tenna, or keychain QRP purchase from Quirky QRP. James, thank you for that. We'll put that up. K6UDA Quirky QRP is the code. $5 off. Hey, these things are not expensive in the first place, so $5. Thank you, Jim, for doing that. Let's see. KB8 MEJ, former volunteer firefighter, Station 6, Maryland. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Carlos is going to try to do a parachute mobile this weekend. Very cool. Carlos, maybe we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. I'll get you to call in on Skype or something, and you could talk about that. Let's see. Well, okay. And we're back. I don't know what happened. So anyway, guys, here's the deal. Oh, look at that. 103 people on the stream. We got 37 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. Yeah, whatever. All right, guys. So, main topic of today is operating under real world stress. And honestly, most of us in the world have never operated under stress, under fire, where you're gonna die. You know in your heart of hearts that you ain't gonna make it out, and need to acknowledge right up front from Christiana here a super chat. Thank you. Thank you here. Hey Bob, N6KV, hello from Klamath Falls. Thank you from Klamath Falls, or for Klamath Falls. Thank you for the super chat there. That is awesome. Anyway, I was looking around to see what is kind of, operating radio under pressure. And here's something I found that I want to share with you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and play this video here.
We're looking for somebody who can think critically, process a problem, and then make a good decision based off of that. A combat controller is generally sent out as a one-man attachment to a special operations team. The role of a combat controller is to be the air-to-ground liaison. You could be helping blow up IEDs. You could be manning artillery pieces the next day, or a high-altitude, high-opening jump trip. We're not just a weapons specialist, or just a comms specialist, or just a demo specialist. We're all of those things combined. There's so many qualifications that we have that you are constantly in a state of training. The combat control pipeline is a 2-year-long pipeline. The first school that you go to is combat control selection course, followed by air traffic control school, SEER school, airborne school, and then combat control school. From there, you'll move to advanced skills training. The most challenging part for me was stress inoculation week. Stress inoculation is non-stop training back to back to back, very little sleep. My advice to recruits coming in, prepare yourself physically. If you're not prepared physically, you're not even going to graduate the first school to go to the second. The combat control motto is first there. We're the only special operations force that has the air traffic control capability. We're one of the first people into Afghanistan to set up the airfield. As a combat controller, you're not always fighting the enemy. Combat controllers deployed to Haiti after the earthquake, and they controlled hundreds of flights in and out of the area. They were able to medevac wounded people out, fly in supplies. So we have the qualification to fly or jump into an island to start working humanitarian aid. That's something that I love about this career field.
All right, guys. That kind of just kind of brings it all home to me. That is a radio occupation, and those guys are so much under fire. They're embedded with every special forces unit in every other branch of the military, directing. They're basically in hot zones. I've seen some video coming out of Afghanistan, out of Iraq, some of them from friends of mine, and these guys are literally got bullets flying over their head, and they're on the radio calling in airstrikes, directing resources from the air. and you have to keep your head about you. You cannot lose it. You can't panic. And a big part of that is being able to operate under stress. Very, very few of us in the civilian world are able to operate under stress, under that kind of stress, under fire, within shootouts, or I mean, the closest thing that I can relate to that to is being in a shootout situation, or a felony car stop, where absolutely have to be in control. I've got to, man the radio, direct in resources safely, because I'm responsible for bringing guys into the scene and not having them be in a crossfire. Or being a fireman and directing other resources in while you're inside of a burning building. A lot of guys die inside of burning buildings. I have personally gone into burning buildings, which was some of the dumbest ass shit I've ever done. I mean, it just is. So, I want to hear from you guys. Anybody that has dealt with real world emergencies where you've had to talk on the radio, where you've had to make this happen, and not not panic. Other lives are maybe dependent on you, or your life is dependent on you. I know is close in the real civilian world, where you're not in law enforcement, you're not a first responder. The big fires that they had here in Northern California, what is it now, 2 years ago, or was it 3 years ago? 2 years ago. Paradise Fires. There were actually people who were on the radio because the cell phones went out very, very quickly. Telephone service went out very quickly. So there were people that were there. They were literally on CB and ham radios, trying to warn their neighbors, trying to get out, trying to direct themselves out. And mad props to anybody that was there, that had to deal with that, and knowing that you didn't have a house to go back to, you weren't going home after this, and you were trying to get your friends and your neighbors out of there. Mad props to you guys. Let's see. Let's look through the comments here really quick, and see. How about sending a ARRL challenge coin to the people that send you? Just a thought. If I only have one ARRL challenge coin, and that was from working W1AW, and it's kind of like a trophy. Let's see. The story of CCT, Ken. It was use of proper comms to save his unit while temporarily blind. I don't know that story. So maybe for the ham radio dude, Sean, if let's put this up. Hey, maybe if you want to put in and go call in there on the Skype line, and tell us about that deal. And we'll come back over here from James. As a teenager, camping used his ham radio GPS to direct air attack to drop water on a fire that my brother's uncle and I were fighting, which was going to overrun about 100 people in a campground. That's cool. That, you know what? There you go. That is kind of, that's being under fire directly, especially if you were in that campground and there was a good chance of you dying. I've been in several fires, and there was one where I knew I was going to die, and I called my supervisor and I told him I'm not getting out, and I was going to try to shelter under my car, under a blanket, under one of them little fire blankets, and I knew I was going to die, and I was stuck at a guy's house, and lo and behold, about 2 minutes later, a fire truck comes blazing through a bunch of fire. These guys came in and doused water to save my ass. And so to you fire guys, you know what? I thank you guys every time I could thank you, because those guys truly did save my ass. I knew I was done, but I was prepared to be done at that point. Let's see. Wild times. You can change the channel. Yes, and for my buddy Jim, I don't even know what the context was. Yeah, if you don't like this, hey, change the channel. That's fine. There's plenty of guys that respect those that keep us safe, those that keep us free, and this is for those guys, and for you guys that if you think you're ready, if you think, because you've got a handheld radio, or that you've got a ham radio license, and you're maybe part of Aries or Races or something, the biggest thing that I could say is drill, is practice. You're going to react the way that you train, and if you don't train, you're gonna lock up. You will vapor lock when the shit hits the fan, and that's just the way it is. Let's see. Before CCT came along, I trained USAF security personnel to pass the Ranger School. Every man I trained finished first in their class. Hey, thank you for from Zero Turned. Just wait to see what happens. Oh my God. Must be the COVID. It just hit. Let's see. When 5G rolls out with only, I'm going to put that back up because I didn't even read it. With only 500 feet between modest, imagine how many cells will go down during a hurricane or wildfire. Yep. I don't know how 5G works. And that's why I don't rely on it. It's a convenience. The internet is a convenience. Much respect from Ham Radio 101. Much respect for the guys that jump in a big dump truck with a blade on it and keep our roads open, even in blizzard conditions. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I don't live in ice or snow country, but yeah, those guys too. Everybody who kind of keeps the system going is in it to some degree. I have heard first responders totally vapor lock on the radio when it gets really, really thick. And it does. I mean, at some point you start looking at things, you go, I'm done. My life is over. And most first responders have had at least one of those moments where you just, you're not going home through this. And mine have been, most of mine have been in fires. Most everything else I have always kind of thought I can deal with this. There's been a few that have been touchy in the law enforcement side that I thought there's a good chance that something ain't gonna go right. But fire's the one thing you can't fight with a gun. or hand to hand. You can't go hand to hand with fire. Let's see. Looks like I cannot Skype today. I'll email you the story. From James. Yeah, Bob is coughing. Must have had too much Corona. I guess so. I had my little coughing fit. So anyway, I'm not seeing a whole lot of other stories from other people. I would love... Somebody sent me a Skype message. Like to add me on Skype. Brainstomp Inc. Accept. From Indiana. Active now. Beautiful. Carlos. Ah, okay. That would be Carlos. Wants to talk about... So anyway... He was saying I'm boring. From Jim. Okay, well, you know what? Personal opinion. Maybe I am boring. I don't know. But anyway, my brother, thanks. Thanks for sticking up. Let's see. No hair issue. Story explains the no hair issue. Yes. Tennessee here from Denise McJunkins. And let's see. Walter says, one thing you can do is buy yourself a fire-resistant emergency deploy a kit. Like, yeah. Those... And I ask any firemen around here, those are so the body looks okay during the funeral if you're going to have an open casket. That's about what those things will do when fire rolls right over the top of you. So, yeah. From Dawn. Dawn, a super chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. We gotta bring that up. Thanks for your service. Shame police are getting a bad rap because of a few bad apples. Yeah, that's freaking horrible. Now, I dealt with a little bit of this. I have never seen it as bad to this extent. But it's political. If you're just looking a little bit, it's a political thing. You've got the ultra woke left trying to federalize everything, which is a huge issue, a huge problem. It's the first step in creating a centralized, completely centralized government. And that's their plan. That is their end game. Even during the Rodney King riots, which I wasn't a participant, but I was around. I was working in those during those riots. I've seen a lot of really bad stuff there. I've and worked with that whole mentality back over here. And hang on here. I need to refocus. Focus. Yeah. On the radio, things that we do need to work on the radio is brevity. Mike O has it down. Brevity on the radio. Unlike me BSing with you guys and talking on here or rag chewing on the radio. Let me move over to camera number 1 here. Unlike that, or this type of dialogue between us, when shit hits the fan, when it gets really, really bad on the air, brevity, because somebody else needs to get on the air at that time. And I have always been a huge proponent of brevity on the air. If you could say it in 2 or 3 words, say it in 2 or 3 words and be done. I am reminded of a story. I had just gone out on a felony car stop way down in a remote area of my county. There was another deputy who was on another call up in another part of the county. He was famous for getting on the radio and talking about whatever. I don't know. He would just have books on the air. I got on the air and I put out my call sign. It was at that time Nora 128. Bless her, Nora 128. I have 2 at gunpoint, and I throw the mic down because now that microphone is it's a liability to me. I don't want it anymore. So I throw the mic down. I'm done with the radio. This guy is talking on the radio. The dispatch just heard something that didn't strike her right. And she said, Nora 128, or last unit 10-9 is exactly what she said. Last unit 10-9, which means didn't quite hear that, but I heard something. One of the other guys that happened to be down in the lower half of the county where I was heard it and said that was the Nora car. He said he's out with 2 at gunpoint. Stopped everything at that point because he heard it. He was en route to me, and that's my big story about brevity. And I've used that with trainees. I've used that all the time talking. Be brief on the radio if there is an emergency, because somebody else will need that frequency to put out some other emergency traffic. And we don't need weather reports. We don't need a lot of extra stuff. Let me go back over to camera number 2 here and try to read up, see where I am at. Let's see. So anyway, Mike O, thank you for that. Let's see. I can't tell cause silence agreement. I can't tell cause silence agreements. But surely not as severe as your stories. I don't understand that. We got looks like we got another super chat from the Ham Radio dude. Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much, man. That is awesome. Let's see. Here's to brevity. In emergencies, you don't need to say it. Don't. Otherwise, keep it short and simple. Lives depend on it. Thanks for the excellent topic. Thank you. Thank you very much. And come back out to use plain language. Hams. Don't use Q codes. Don't use jargon. No pleases. No thank yous. This is from Jim. Jim is a personal friend of mine, in real life friend. We have known each other for years, hung out together, and Jim is a former Navy man. Whoa, let me turn that down. And he knows what he's talking about. He's now a Red Cross volunteer. Does a lot of stuff. He's been in emergency medicine for about 1 million years. So great addition there, Jim. Thank you. We pray that the repent. We pray they repent as biblical prophecy. Okay, we're not going to get into that because we're talking about emergency comms. But yes, I agree. Let's see. Denise says technical license test on Saturday. Ordered the ham radio codes book and some charts. My dad was in ham radio and CB years ago. Time for me to get serious about ham radio again. Yeah, Denise, great idea. It is a good idea to be in ham radio because honestly, being in this gives you a certain, just being in ham radio and practicing it a little bit will give you a little bit of that security. So when the power goes out, and the power goes out here all summer long, when the winds pick up and the heat comes in out here in Northern California, the power goes out, and sometimes it goes out for days. After about 6 hours, these things become things you could play offline games on, and flashlights. They work okay as little flashlights, and cameras. Still have an awesome camera. But other than that, they're garbage. They don't work. These, on the other hand, as long as the repeater sites have battery power going to them, or they're solar powered, the repeater sites will stay up and these will work. You can have short to medium range comms. You can have comms with your friends and family that also have radios, and that also goes for for the FRS radios, GMRS radios, and the MERS radios too. There's a lot of different services, including CB. Will get you some longer range comms in some emergencies. So don't forget about that. Let's see. Never endanger myself as a 911 dispatcher, but talking to terrified caller with a crime in progress, broadcasting updates to responding units, and answering their questions is stressful. Yeah, James, thank you for doing the 911 thing. That is 100%. I mean, I know a lot of dispatchers. I know all our dispatchers, and very, very stressful. You've got people. Some people you're talking to are dying. Maybe they've been shot, stabbed. They've been beaten by people they live with and love. You've got parents of small children who stop breathing, and you're trying to give them directions while passing the information off to, say, law or fire dispatchers, and getting more help to them, and giving these people instructions on how to do CPR over the phone. I mean, huge amounts of stress. I totally get it. Thank you, my friend, for doing that. Um, let's see. It's a mnemonic. Um, a word to jog your memory. ICS and NIMS procedures use accepted pro words and never any jargon on the air. Yeah, they counter many. They counter. Hang on, I just lost it. I just lost it. Holy crap. Uh, they counter what many FDs and PDs train. But TFB. Okay. Yeah. It kind of is what it is. We use in law and fire, we use codes not so much to obscure the meaning of something, but a lot of times it's for brevity's sake. When we say 10-8, we know we're in service. Well, 10-8 is a very quick way. You could get on there, and I could give a call sign. My current call sign Civil 6 for when I was last working before the COVID. Civil 6 10-8. Boom. I'm done. I've just told them everything I need. And we have another super chat in the house. Thank you. Thank you, Bernard. Ow. Damn it. Just stabbed myself in the eye. Let's see. A little something toward the closing costs on the new compound. Thank you, my friend. That is much appreciated. Let's see. Bob, send ARRL challenge coins to those who donate to you. You know what, Bill? If I had ARRL challenge coins, I'd send them out. I don't really have any, and right now I've let my membership lapse. So go back over to camera 2 here. Bob, my favorite service hobby. Good luck selling your house and getting into Idaho. We will. We will. This is I'll tell you, I want to tell you guys, this is a freaking hard thing to do. I have been in this house. I really didn't think it would be this hard to sell, but man, after 30 years in the same place and building the place up to exactly what I want, with the buildings I want, the way that I want it, this is a tough deal. I don't know what else. I don't know what to say. So right now I don't have a place to land. So we're a little afraid of selling the place here and becoming homeless. But I guess then I'd be a full timer in the RV for a while until we found a place. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. Let's see. I'm going to come back over to camera 2. Let's see. I still think California Wildfires would be a great team name. Probably not a popular idea. Be popular in some areas, I guess, more than others. Q codes are meant for brevity. From Zero Turn Z. Q codes are meant for brevity and clarity, but like CW, there's a learning curve to become proficient. Yeah. Q codes in ham radio are meant to be for brevity. And here's the thing. If everybody in ham radio was proficient in the use of Q codes. And then it would be okay. But like, some things become just general vernacular. 10-4. I could say that to pretty much anybody in the United States. And if they've ever heard a CB or heard, it would be, that is common vernacular. But QRZ is not. QRN is not common vernacular. Unless you've kind of studied it up, you won't. When shit really gets thick, you might say it and I might not understand it. And if you say it and I don't understand it, we're not communicating. And if one of our lives depends on us communicating together efficiently and effectively, then I say go back to plain language. I tried to go back to plain language most of the time when things would get really, really thick. Some of the cop vernacular, gets really ingrained, and you'll go back to that. You go back to how you train. That's really how it ends. Let's see. After Katrina, life and death. I don't know if life and death was in the Katrina, but after the cell towers often were up 3 days. New agreements will refuel anybody's tower to keep them up longer. Better infrastructure than it was. Yeah, that may be in some cases, but as we found out here in Northern California, under just PG&E just shut the power off for 4 or 5 days last year, and cell phone towers were done within the affected areas. There was no cell phone towers within hours. So I don't know. I don't know if they fixed it or how they want to keep that or how they intend on keeping it going for much longer than that. Let's see. Radios and more. Keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you and the effort you put forth to improve our hobby. Thank you, my friend. Thanks. Brevity. Philip, brevity definitely the key. I think I'm down at the bottom of the comments here. When you are in a mutual aid situation, your 10-8 and my 10-8 may be different meanings. So in NIMS and ICS, try not to say that. Period. Codes can create. Yeah, you know what? You are right. And that's why in the fire service they're really good about saying in service. We're really bad about using our Q codes. And let's just see here. We got 108 people on the stream, 82 thumbs up, 3 thumbs down. I don't know where the 3 thumbs down comes in. I don't know. Oh well, is what it is. Let's see. Zero turn net control, like security control. Fire dispatch is very stressful and not something for everyone. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Net control under what circumstances? And if people have problems handling net control for a net, please don't try to handle it. please don't volunteer for it or try to handle it when shit hits the fan, because you will not do yourself or anybody else any good if you try that. Know your limitations. If you don't do good under pressure, don't put yourself in that position if at all possible. Now, if it's something like the Paradise Fire, where people were actually, on handhelds trying to get a hold of other people to warn them, get out of the house, you got to do what you got to do. And if that is how you can help, you've done it. You've done something good. If all you could do is get on the radio and say, somebody come help me. I don't know. Maybe if you're in a wheelchair, or you've got somebody at home that can't get, you can't get them loaded up in a vehicle, and that's all you can do. Well, you're saving your own ass. And that's important. That's important, more important to you than anybody else. So you need to take responsibility for yourself and be able to operate at least on that level. Let's see. Thanks from Bill Ashby. Thanks for everything you're doing, Bob. It's important to keep people in the curve when disaster strikes. Yep. And from Zero Turns. And you know what, Zero, thank you so much for being a big part of today's discussion. Field day is ideal practice time. That's where I say contesting will help you work under pressure, at least on the radio side, because you've got to manage you're now managing the radio and your logbook and the physical aspects of the radio and everything else. Your time management, how long are you on the radio with every caller you're talking to? How are the settings on the radio? Are you keeping accurate logs? Are you lining things up in a way that works for you? I like contesting for that very reason, because it does build you into a better operator, just like field day. Let's see. Under pressure. It's nice if you could be with two people for a net control when communicating. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing, JD. You can't always get the perfect conditions. And it's my experience, when it goes bad, everything goes bad. And you're gonna have to start the net maybe until somebody else can come in and take over. You're gonna have to figure it out, and you gotta have a level of proficiency, at least some level of proficiency. So my biggest advice is train to make that happen, so you can have just that super basic level of proficiency. Reading the books, going to the schools, it's theory. It doesn't help you in the field. Let's see. From Felix, haters are going to hate. Yep. Let's see. We changed over to FEMA ICS, and it generates more radio traffic due to controls echoing everything back. Yeah, I get that, and that whole repeating everything. There's good and bad in that. I kind of personally, I like an acknowledgement if it's not critical communications. Maybe for the super critical stuff, um, the echo, especially if there needs to be action taken on another end, and you've got somebody like a dispatcher that is going to is going to relay that information to another service that's gonna have to take action. They need to know exactly what it is, and be able to properly get the right service to the right problem to fix. Let's see. You know what I want to do? It has been an hour. We've been talking about this for an hour. Okay, OJ is going shooting. Cool, very cool. I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I know Carlos here, he does Parachute Mobile. And I'm going to invite Carlos. I'm going to put up the Skype call in. Carlos, if you're still out there, go ahead and call in with the Skype. Use the not the Skype phone call, but the camera. Set up a camera and a microphone, and jump on here. I'd love to hear you talk about Parachute Mobile. That is kind of awesome. An hour, yeah, it has been an hour already. And I'm going to go ahead and set up this.
You're going to have to get that stuff outside.
Okay. All right. So, Carlos, how you doing? Guys, this is Carlos.
Let me mute YouTube.
I'd love to hear you.
That should be good.
Yes, mute YouTube.
There we go.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, nice to have you on the show, my friend. Tell us who you are. Give out your call sign, all that good stuff.
Carlos KD9 OLN Kilo Delta Niner Oscar Lima November. So I got my ticket in December, and I started a plan then that I was gonna do. I'm a skydiving instructor, and I got the idea then. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna grab a radio and take it with me on a skydive, open up high, and just have some fun with it. And then I saw you doing it from an airplane. I went, wait a minute, if he can get 250 miles on an airplane, I can get 250, 300 miles from 14,000 feet in a parachute.
Yes, you can.
That's where I'm at.
Where are you located?
I am located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, or near Fort Wayne, Indiana is Columbia City, but nobody knows where Columbia City is. Most people don't know where Fort Wayne is. So, but I jump in Rochelle, Illinois. So it's about, 4 hours west of here.
Okay. So when you jump, number one, everybody here wants to know, what radio are you taking with you?
I'm taking two radios. I'm taking a Yaesu FT3D as my primary.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my cheapy Baofeng on my other pocket in case something goes wrong with a primary. So
okay.
I haven't used the Baofeng yet. I may do it this week and just for grins, but primarily it's the FT3DR because I just like it better. Number one, number two, I think it's a better radio, and number three, it has APRS, and I want to be able to see how far I can reach at the very least with APRS. APRS gives me that feedback loop where I can, as soon as I land, I can look at my log and go, okay, 200 miles, 150 miles, so on and so forth, right? Where if we make a contact, I have to look up K6UDA, and where was K6UDA at that time? I don't know. You may have been in California, and then again, you just may have been right under me in Rochelle, because I had a connection like that 2 weekends ago, and on my first jump, there was a gentleman whose call sign is registered in South Florida. but he was in a truck terminal about 5 miles that way.
Yeah.
So not very far.
Yeah. So, my advice to you, having done aeronautical mobile a couple of times, number one, you're gonna have a GoPro on, I assume.
Two.
Two GoPros. So mic yourself
I
up
have
with one of them. So put a little lavalier mic on or something, or have it wired into. You could put the. Somebody just tried to get in. Oh, that's the local repeater. Somebody's gonna jump on there. Wire it into a headset or something, so you can hear it and you can record it when you're talking to people, and then you could play it back and you could get your logs like that.
so the FT3DR lets me do that.
Mm-hmm.
It has a built-in record the audio function. So I did it on one jump. I forgot to do it on the second jump. I just need to make it part of my checklist where I can hit that record button and record all of the audio. I did learn that 146.52 is extremely chatty at 14,000 feet.
It is. Here's what I would do. Get a hold of somebody in the area beforehand and have them make some announcements, maybe if there's a local net going on, and make an announcement a week in advance, or a couple of days in advance on the radio that you're going to be doing the jump, and that you're going to be on 146.52, which I think is a great frequency to do this, because you're going to hit a bunch of guys that wouldn't necessarily know otherwise, but they might be monitoring. So be prepared for that pileup and just work what you can. Pick out one or two letters off the back of a call sign, and if you've got it recording, you should be okay. But be prepared for that pileup.
I'm hoping for the pileup. The first two jumps, I should say. I didn't get a pileup. I did have some. I got berated by some hams already, so don't beat me up. I recognize I did it wrong. I had to break in to a conversation ongoing because they weren't shutting up, and I just had to key over them. It was one of those, let's go. I'm burning altitude. I don't imagine you've seen the videos, because otherwise you would have seen that I have GoPros already.
I have not seen the videos. You have to send me a link. Email
I'll send
me
you a
a
couple.
link.
I will email you a couple of links. What I did learn from the first two jumps is that working 146.52 from up top is not really all that feasible, because of the amount of chatter that there's on the air in that frequency that high. I mean, I'm picking up things that I'm way up high, so I'm picking up really far off conversations. So my plan for this weekend is to make a call on 146.52 saying, hey, I'm a Parachute Mobile. I'm going to have a great card for you once I land and make, log my contacts. I'm going to be listening on 146.5. So that's the current plan anyhow.
Okay. So you're going to operate split.
I'm going to have to. There was so much chatter on 146.52 that it was one of those. I got berated so much by other hams for just keying over people, because there was a constant stream of sound that the only reasonable way of doing it, I think, is to work split, find a quick break in there and say break, and say this is what I'm doing, and then move on to 1465 and record 1465.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's you know what? That's an alternative, and that might work for you. I didn't have a huge amount of problem getting on 5.2 when I did it, but I don't know. Maybe in your neck of the woods there, or that neck of the woods, 5.2 is just like the trucker's paradise, and that might be. And honestly, 5.2 is really supposed to be for making contacts. It's not a. It's the national calling frequency, not the national rag chew frequency.
And sadly, it was a national rag chew. That's what it sounded like. I'm getting the links now to send them to you, but it was very busy. Once I got lower, the lower I got, the less busy it got, because my antenna was obviously picking up less distance.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a guy in central Wisconsin that was hearing me loud and clear. He actually sent me a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, I heard you. You couldn't hear, you couldn't hear me, but I heard you clear." And that's a long haul from where I was at to central Wisconsin to where he was at. We're talking about just shy of 350 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hear him, but he could hear me.
Right. Well, and that's that's another thing that a lot of new hams don't get, is just because you can hear somebody else doesn't mean they can hear you. And a lot of people get discouraged when they call CQ and they hear guys and they're on a 5-watt, radio, a little QRP radio, and they don't get a return. Don't get discouraged. There's a lot of times where people won't hear you for whatever reason. You can hear them, especially on handhelds. I hear that a lot. So I kind of put that out there for everybody else. I'm sure you understand, just because you've now taken an antenna, this antenna, and you've put it up. You're on a 14,000-foot tower.
Descending.
This goes, well, the curvature of your Earth is a lot further.
Yes.
At 14,000 feet than it is for me. So anyway.
So it's the most of the feedback I've gotten has been very cool, very good. Like I said, I've had enough hams just berate me for keying over people that I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, are you see, and a lot of guys might not even know what Parachute Mobile is. They might not have, because if you're calling and you're saying CQ Parachute Mobile, that should kind of tell guys this is something different. This is something special. So I don't know.
And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that there's enough people interested in the novelty aspect of making that contact that they'll let me break in and say, okay, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to listen for this guy. I'm going to try to make contact with him, and then let others make contact with him.
Yeah. Okay.
So I sent you an email with the 2 videos that I have from 2 weeks ago. My hope is to make 2 jumps this weekend, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. Like I said, I'm working 14652 to make that call, and 1465 to listen. I've posted notice of it on Josh's Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And on make 146.520 great again. I don't know where else to post, but if you can tell, if there's any other place you want me that you should say, hey, you should post here, let me know. I'll gladly do so, because I'm trying to get that range. I'm trying to get that distance.
I hear you. I can't think of anything offhand. I'm sure maybe we might get a suggestion or two in the comment or in the chat box here. Let's see. Felix, are you on a HRCC Discord?
I am. I just saw that question.
Okay.
I am. I'll need to remember to log into the HRCC Discord and make a note of it there as well. Let's see. Another question is, how long does a jump typically last? About 10 minutes under wing, 10 to 11 minutes under the canopy. If I don't, so a parachute flies just like any other wing. I have an air brake in the form of some lines that curl the back of the parachute to keep it, to slow its rate of flight. As long as I don't unstow my brakes, I can get 10 minutes of flight time out of it, no problem. Once I unstow my brakes, I'm flying pretty fast. I'm doing 35, 40 miles an hour, depending on winds. So I leave my brakes stowed from the exit until about 3,000 feet. At 3,000 feet, I'm putting everything away and I'm focusing on flying my parachute. You can, in the video, you can see where I put everything away and now I'm flying, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing that you've got a mission that you've got to accomplish before ham radio. The ham radio
Absolutely.
part is a fun little diversion between exit and landing.
Precisely, and as much as I like playing in the radio, I need safe landing is number one.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So
definitely. All right, Carlos. Hey, great to have you on the show here. That was kind of cool, and maybe next week on the show we'll get you back on, and maybe we can watch your jump video.
That'd be awesome. One little bit in reference to emergency communications. If you're ever put in that spot where you need to communicate, and it's obviously not for you because you've been there, done that, take a deep breath and relax. It's hard to relax when you're in a things hit the fan situation, but if you yell into the mic, you're not going to come through clear, and no one's going to understand what you're saying, and you're not going to get any help. So take a deep breath, relax. Hey, I'm in the bad spot. I need help. Put the mic down. Then you can freak out.
Yeah, when it's all over, that's the time to freak out.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Good advice. Good advice. All right, my friend. Thanks again, and we will. I'll catch you on your video.
Parachute Mobile. Keep me up.
Thanks, Carlos.
Bye-bye.
And okay, so now hang on here. I did a video. Hang on here. I don't know what's going on. Everything is screwing up. Well, I'm still here. I don't know why it won't let me.
Maybe your black ones will look good there, but the table look okay. Do you like this?
Yes.
Do you like this?
Not letting me do anything.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna have to get out of. Okay, there we go. Now,
Because Reagan rings everything. Look what she did. This is
so got a super chat here. Need to put up, and nothing's working because
Oh,
did you get new ones?
give me a second. We the people.
Okay, so that looks okay with the
Yes.
flowers.
We the people.
And I took the leaf out to make
Now more than ever. Thanks for the videos. Nice break from the news from We the People. Thank you. And this thing is screwed up. Give me a second. I'm going to go back to camera number 1.
cupboards are all clean.
And
Everything inside is like clean. It's all
there we go. I had to do it over here. So We the People, thank you for the super chat. That is awesome. Um,
Like comes down like at an angle.
let me see.
Terrible. I hate it.
Woo! You just gotta love live TV, don't you? Let's see. Let's see. Let me make sure I didn't. Felix. Okay, we've got almost everything.
You're gonna move that stuff
Bob's supposed to move all that stuff out to the garage. Yes.
We got almost everything going here. My wife is in the other room, getting ready for the pictures. Holy crap sticks from Bernard.
Yeah. No, because once that's
Let
gone,
me go back to
yeah, that's going.
Okay.
So
camera number 1
this is going.
and
Garage. And then see, as you look at this, then you see out back.
this is killing me.
Yeah, I asked
This is killing me here. Holy crap sticks. Just realized the Radio Horizon. I don't know why this is.
yeah, but that's as good as it's going.
Wow. This is crazy.
I know.
Well, we'll just take up the whole thing. That's from Annapolis to the border of the Atlantic on the other side.
I'm not too worried.
Yes,
Should I move my chair?
that is awesome. Did I hear the photographer?
And then I'll have to move that one thing there.
No, you did not hear the photographer,
Oh.
JD. You heard
Everything that's-
my neighbor,
move along.
who's kind of
I mean, they
amateur interior decorator, stager kind of a girl.
You know, the flowers came out and
Lose the horn from Steven. The horn only appears on certain occasions. We the people, thanks for your LEO service. And can you do C4FM on an analog radio? You could do Wires X on an analog radio, but C4FM is actually its own digital mode. C4FM, DMR, P25, those are all a form of digital modes. So C4FM itself is not analog, but C4FM and analog can kind of mix, not really. From James Moorhorn, yeah. All right, guys. Hey, it has been an hour and 21 minutes. We have been going strong here. An hour and 7 minutes actually. So, but it says an hour and 21 minutes by my clock. 100 people on the stream, 104 people on the stream, 101 on the thumbs up, 5 on the thumbs down. JD Williamson, thank you. You have done another super chat. More for the horn. Thank you. Thank you, JD. And I think if nobody else has anything absolutely pressing for today, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream because I know people around here, out in the other room here, are actually ready to scream at me. They want me to do other things, and none of my cameras are working. Isn't that nice? The cameras, no worky after Skype. Unbelievable. All right, guys. Let's see. I think that's it. Doug Smith, what's up, Bob? What's up, Doug? Todd, yes, you can do C4FM via a YSF bridge. Yes, kind of, sort of. Excellent stream, Bob. Thank you again from the Ham Radio Dude. Sean, thank you. Thank you for the super chat earlier. Thank you so much for, and I can't even move to camera 3. It won't move. Unbelievable. 7-3. I am out of here, guys. Again, got a good video coming out tomorrow, so be looking for that one. More on emergency communications tomorrow with a twist. This will be a fun one. So I want to ask you guys right now, share tomorrow's video everywhere you can. It's going to be, how shall I say? It's going to ruffle a few feathers. Anyway, guys, I'm Bob, K6UDA. Thank you so much for joining me today for the last hour and a half. I'm loving this. Great stream. Great audience participation. And if you have a subject, a question you want answered on a show, a subject that you want covered, please email me. K6UDAradio@gmail.com. Guys, I'm out of here. See ya. My Stream Deck is dead. That's what it is. The Stream Deck just decided to die. Later.